it's not every single day at the Observer. Truth be told, it has only happened once. But this afternoon, we had the pleasure of a real life celebrity, not L.A. Lewis type celebrity, but a real celebrity swanning through the black gates of the Jamaica Observer newspaper. I am delighted to introduce you to Tony nominated. That's where it started, I do believe. Well, first of all, no, actually, she was always a rock star. Then Tony nominated, Emmy Award winning actress. And then yesterday at King's House, she became part of that inner sanctum, the core of our great Jamaicans. Sheryl Ralph, Order of Jamaica. Emmy Award winning actress, Tony nominated, hand-picked by the late great Sidney Poitier, and our own beloved, much beloved rock star. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Novia. Good to be here at the Observer.
I don't think you're familiar with this property.
No, not at all.
But we'll kind of show you around later on, because, we're now a media group, so it's not the size, not the same building that you once heard of at Fagan Avenue. But
this is the possibility.
This is our late chairman, Gordon Butch Stewart. Yes. This is the vision that he had.
That's right.
In fact, for this entire road to become Boot Street, the advertising and media capital of the region, the dream is not yet fulfilled, but it's on its way. And we've just literally dragged you out of the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel, leaving in the dust behind hundreds upon hundreds of Jamaicans, Sagicorians, who wanted to, take a photo with you, to exchange a word with you, to touch you, to see you close up. How does that make you feel?
Wow. I have to tell you, I've experienced it on one level before, but since all of this has happened, it's now something very different. And I'm very, very thankful, because your audience doesn't have to love you. The audience doesn't have to appreciate you. The audience doesn't have to want to take pictures with you. For them to want to do those things with you, it's really an honor. It's really a mark that you've made in their hearts, in their minds, in their being. And for me, I want to make it a deep mark and a great relationship with my audience.
Because you're no stranger to Jamaicans and to Jamaica.
Right.
So you know that in Jamaica, after she know more than me. So, if you think about yesterday, you think about today. As a matter of fact, the minute you landed and went to Glorious to enjoy the sumptuous fish, and we were trending. Everyone wanted to know, she like it, she's enjoying it. So it speaks volumes, because we are not a people who kind of give a two hoots about anything. But they've always loved you though, Sheryl.
Thank you.
They've always embraced you. And obviously the hug is even tighter now.
Yes, tight hugs.
Tight hugs.
And they feel so good.
The love is amazing, and you might just have to spend a bit more time here in Jamaica.
Oh,
with
absolutely.
Us. So
that's easy.
Just be warned. You obviously got a standing ovation just now at your speech, but everything resonated, obviously. But let us pick up, I think our audience will really, really love this. You spoke about young people. You spoke about your producer, Quinta, who's 32 years young.
Yes.
Right, who refers to you as Sheryl now.
Yes.
Things have changed. Once upon a time, it had to be like Auntie Sheryl or Miss Sheryl.
That's right.
But, she's 32. She always had a plan for you. And you left us with a charge to listen to young people, to allow young people, right? And for older, wiser heads, perhaps, to step back and allow them to share the spotlight, as it were. Would you like to elaborate on that?
I say this often. my boss is 32 years young, and she's very smart, very bright, very dedicated to her show, passionate about what she does. And it is amazing to watch her move in this industry with such ease. And I look at her and I think back to when I was her age and what I was trying to do in the industry, and how doors were very difficult to open. But what it took for me to carry on, you know, to move forward to this place, and to have a young person see me and say, wait a minute, Miss Ralph, she's extending her hand with these open doors and saying, come with me. Come with me on this journey because I see you. I appreciate you. That means so much to me. But then I've been intentional and very intentional about having the kind of career that other, especially young women, young Black women, could look at and say, I can do this. It might be difficult, but I can do this. It may not take me, it might not be as short as I thought it would be, it might be longer, but I can do this.
Was it intentional, but was it deliberate?
It's absolutely deliberate.
You spoke about being in your 20s, 23, 24. I mean, on stage every single night, meeting the who's who, dream girl. I mean, what was lovely was when Beyonce sent you the flowers, not to mention, you know, Oprah and everybody else, but to the original dream girl. How did that make you feel?
Oh my God. I felt so good. It made me feel like what I had gone through had been seen and understood by her. She's maturer now, and she has a wiser, a better understanding of what happened to us, the original company, how we were shut out of certain things as they made the movie. She has an understanding now. And when she sent those flowers to me with that note, I said, yes, she understands, she gets it. And I was so deeply appreciative of it.
How important is it for people to get it? The journey, that is. I mean, okay, I would imagine that Quinta had done her research, so she gets it. Beyonce, obviously somewhere she had understood, done the research, but how important is it for others to get it, to get your journey from 0 to 100, as it were?
You know, it's, I never lived or went through my career saying, see me, see me, see me, understand me, get me, get me, get me. No, I just had to be true to who I was and hope that it would be understood, that those who came after me would get it and understand why the doors are more easily open for them. The work that was done, the rocks and bricks that were busted to lay down the road, the smooth road that they get to walk on now. I wanted them to know what it took for that to happen. So when I was nominated for the Emmy, and the likes of Lena Waithe, Cynthia Erivo, Gabrielle, all of these young women saying and sending me flowers, literally, Miss Ralph, I get it. I appreciate you. I understand. Thank you.
Yeah.
There are no words for how I felt with just those little, you know, those little cards that come with flowers.
With the nuggets
they
of beautiful words,
volumes.
And it's more the cards sometimes than even the flowers, the words, the words.
So many of these young women saying thank you to me. Oh my God, you know, when they say You inspired me. You've been my role model. When nobody else talked to me, oh my God, I think about it now, and it's just, wow. But you know, that's my mother, that's
Yes.
my father. They live their lives like that.
And is it part of, would you say it's part of the Jamaicanness that's in you as well, and the fact that you spent, your summers here at least, eating mangoes?
I talk about that with
Yes.
people, and for some of them, they don't understand. All of the time that I spent in Jamaica, it made me understand that the things that were being told to young Black children in the States, it wasn't the truth.
Absolutely not.
Because I would leave the States, get on the plane, come to Jamaica. The doctor was a Black man. The lawyer was a Black man or woman. The nuns were Black. So a Sister Act, that was nothing new to me.
Yes, yes.
I'd already known about the Black nuns. Remember those nuns that we used to have all over Jamaica in the blue habits and all? The bishop was a Black man.
Correct.
The politicians, the men running the country, Blackish men, but I was already, the way we had our own university.
Absolutely.
The University of the West Indies. And that was someplace that people wanted to go to, and when it's for a real higher learning. And the fact that they were already teaching Africanism, African history, it was being taught. So it just really helped me really focus that I could do anything, that what they were saying was not true.
So it could be argued, therefore, that your journey is a different journey. So how difficult, how realistic would it be then for you to say to the likes of Beyonce or whoever else in the United States that yes, you can? Is that a contradiction as such?
No, because when they see me living my life like that, that's what I believe it is. They're like, wait a minute, she's doing this, and I'm doing it with limited opportunities. It was 10 years from my first film, Piece of the Action, 10 years later for the second film.
And you keep talking about, your time will come, keep going, keep working at it. But take us through some of those darkest moments, because 10 years you were waiting for the phone to ring, the phone didn't ring, or you went for, for auditions and nothing happened. How did you keep yourself motivated? Speak the truth.
Truth, honest to God, I had incredible mentors. And maybe they might have only been in my life for a year. Some of them were a lifetime. Some of them were there when I was very young. I was speaking at a luncheon and I looked at Bev Manley and Pat Ramsey. And they were
great,
there.
Iconic women.
Yes, right in front of me. And I remember, oh my God, I was little, I was young. I was like maybe 8, 9 years old. And there was Beverly Manley, and she wasn't Manley yet. She was
Bev
Anderson. And she was on TV.
That's
she
correct.
was on the radio.
She was a personality.
She had chopped off all her hair.
That's right.
She was wearing her natural hair. She was in, the dashikis and the kaftans, and she would come by my mom's atelier, the House of Ivy.
The great Ivy.
Thank you, my mom. Wow, I know she's smiling from
She is.
At
yes,
all
she
of
is.
this.
That's
She's
all
like,
of this. Yes.
That's my daughter.
That's my daughter.
There. That's
yes.
my Sheryl. Yes, Sheryl. But I remember Mommy would be working so hard, she was really a creator, Mommy, and developing the Kariba, right?
Yes.
Because Mommy said she was tired all of her life seeing men in the Caribbean sweat. She said, if they're going to go to court, they can't sweat. If they're going to speak with the prime minister, they cannot sweat. If they're going to be in church, they shouldn't sweat. And she said they need some different kind of dress. And when she really, refined what we now think of as a bush jacket,
Yes,
or,
the
the Cuban shirt.
Right.
In Jamaica, it was the Kariba,
Yes, and
out
shoes.
of tropical weight fabrics that looked good on men that they could make a statement. And any man who was anybody in the world that would come to visit Jamaica would always come through
very true.
Atelier.
Very true.
And
Very true.
here I am, young, and Bev Anderson comes in and she takes me with her on the Saturdays. She's going to get her afro shaped up, or she and her friend, she had a good friend, Winsome, and Winsome, they were going to do the makeup and the wing,
Yes,
the wing eyeliner and all of that. Oh my God! And I remember just sitting and watching these beautiful, independent Black women doing their thing with such confidence. It had an impact on me.
Absolutely. So that buoyed you, obviously, that your confidence was...
Oh my God, it really helped build up my confidence.
Right.
Pat Ramsey,
Oh, absolutely.
who her husband, Ken Ramsey, a great photographer, would sit me in front of the camera and teach me how to, smile and pose and move, and it's never just sit still. What is it you want to show the camera? These were all lessons that they were teaching me, prepping me.
Pouring into you
Yes.
without you even knowing as such.
Exactly, and when Pat would say to me, there's more to life than just food and clothes. There's art, there's creativity. And she would have the pictures hanging on the wall. What do you see? And I was like, oh my God,
Yes.
it had such an
She's
impact.
an amazing woman, absolutely. Both are.
Just
Absolutely.
so amazing. And then, going to the States, and Virginia Capers, who had won the Tony for Raisin. I met her. She stuck with me my whole life. And she said to me one day, and it was repeated by Maya Angelou. They both said the same thing. I didn't have my children until later, but they said your greatest achievement will be those two, talking about my children, Etienne and Ivy, about how I could do anything, but if I could raise two healthy, happy human beings, that would be just the greatest thing I would ever do. And they were so right, so right. Rosalind Cash, great actress who dared to wear her natural hair, and the industry blackballed her.
Wow.
They did not hire her, and she was so talented and so just an amazing, very forthright woman. She gave me a place to stay. She said, you've got 6 weeks. After that, you're out. So you better make use of this time.
Yes.
And that was great. It gave me a timeline. It gave me something to, work towards. And I ended up getting an agent, and I shot a commercial.
Oh,
so I had
great.
the money to go get an apartment, to live, to sustain myself.
So it's important. So you really benefited from women helping you.
Yes.
In the industry. I mean,
Yes.
preparing you even before you didn't even know what they were preparing you for.
That's right. So when I was asked by, I think it was Glamour magazine, about women need to be helpful to each other, more helpful. And I said, I only know of women being very helpful to me. I am what I am because of the way women poured into me. My mother.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Absolutely. You see, society has obviously perpetuated the myth that, women don't get on, we don't support each other, etc., etc. So, but you can honestly say that women have poured into you, as have men too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, when you spoke about Sidney Poitier giving you your first break, I'm sure you were gutted as the world was, as we were, when he passed. How did that impact you?
I was very fortunate enough to have spoken to Mr. Poitier about 3 years ago, and it was the last time we talked, and his mind was changing at that time. And that's always very hard when you see that
the
happen.
Greatness,
And he remembered, though, Sheryl, Ralph, and he would always say the same thing. Maybe he said it to others, but he said it to me. I expect great things from you, and I think about You know, it's interesting when somebody looks out for you.
Absolutely.
Because I will, you know, there were other people around at that time, and other people might not have looked out for you the way he looked out for you. And it was like, I remember one time in particular, he was like, no, Sheryl, there. And I listened. You know, it was like hearing your uncle tell you, move.
Yes, move. Yeah.
You know, and oh man, just looking out. And you know, he had nothing but daughters. He's the original girl dad. You know, and when he cast me in the movie, it was, I saw Pamela Poitier's daughter, the other day.
Yes, you were at the Oprah screening.
Yes. And Pamela
How
said,
cool was that?
Sheryl, you stole my career. You stole my career. She said, Daddy was supposed to cast me, but he cast you.
Okay. That speaks volumes. The measure of the man.
The measure of the man. You know? And it was funny, she's still beautiful, you know,
gorgeous.
With the full gray hair and all. She just looks so wonderful and beautiful. And she said, but you know what? My best days are ahead of me. And I said, absolutely.
So talking about, my best days are ahead of me. You're nominated, you're here in Jamaica, which was fortuitous, I think, that you were in Jamaica. You got the call, you're nominated. You spoke about, well, okay, fine, I'm in the room, but deep inside you want it. Deep inside you feel that your moment has come, that Abbott Elementary is the gateway, has been the gateway. You left Jamaica and obviously things got super busy. Take us through that whole, because it's like a campaign, isn't it? I remember speaking to you and you said it's like a campaign.
It's definitely a campaign. And there I am standing, because, you know, we were redoing the bathroom. So there was dust and tile and everything all over the place.
Your son captured the moment well.
Oh my gosh. And I'm there, my hair is all on top of my head. You know, in my bandana, one of the dresses that my mom had made, you know, and I'm there trying to talk to the workers about, you know, what has to continue to be done. And my phone rings and I'm like, what? My son is now bounding up the stairs. Mom! Mom! And he's like, and I'm like, what? And he said, did you get it? Did you get nominated? Did you get nominated? And I'm like, yes. And my cousin is in the background. Man, she get nominated for something. I don't know. She get nominated for something. And I'm just, all of a sudden, I just lost it. And I was like, oh my God. Now, you cannot really campaign for the nomination.
No, but you can campaign for the win.
For the win.
Correct.
So when I got the nomination, it was like, done. That's it. Because with the nomination, you are already beating the odds.
Absolutely.
Beating the
Absolutely.
odds. Whereas it's 1 in 3,000
yes.
for the win, but to get there for the nomination. I mean, I was just excited with the nomination because with the nomination, I would forever be Emmy-nominated actress. Yes. So once I heard that, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And I was going to leave Jamaica on a high.
Of course.
Going back to work, you know, it was like, whoa, okay. So then starts the real work.
Right.
Because once you get nominated, you must campaign now for the win. It's like being a political nominee. Mm-hmm. Now you better campaign to win. Why should people vote for you?
So you leave Jamaica, you're back on set.
Yes.
That must have been a different feeling.
Yes. I'm very blessed and fortunate to be working with a group of people that I love working with.
Oh. And vice versa.
And yes.
Yeah.
People in front of and behind the camera, we all get along very well. Even the people in the suites, in the offices, we all get along very well. So when we got back, it was just amazing. So you're there, and it's July, and you've got to work now, and I didn't realize how stressful it was. The number of interviews you have to do, the number of clothes
you need
in order to do this. And it's full from head on to toe. And you know, there were other people that I had worked with, but my daughter and Ivy Coco, she and I got along very well, and I realized she had incredible style. She was able to see the complete look, which fascinated me because she literally rejuvenated me. You know, I could have stayed the way I would have looked, and that would have been fine. It had gotten me, you know, to a certain place, but she elevated the look. She made it more youthful, more contemporary,
more relatable,
in many ways. And my look was going to be bright colors, she said, bright colors, you know, and the way she was able to put my style boards together, I said, wow, I didn't waste my money on her education. I didn't know this is what she'd be doing, but
ROI.
So I was very happy that we were working together so well, and the impact was being made. And you know, she started to grow her own sphere of influence by what she was doing, you know. So that became part of the campaign. The people that you work with to do your hair, to do your makeup, it was finding those right people, because not everybody has the hand to paint your face.
Correct.
Not everybody has the hand to do your hair.
Correct.
There are some people that can do your natural hair. There are other people that can do extensions.
Correct.
There are other people that can do wigs. It's like, well, who are you going to be? What are you going to show the world? All of this has got to be talked about. The strategy has to be developed. You have to get a PR team, which is different from a marketing team. So you have to have a PR team, one that has the reach to get you in the center of a People magazine.
Or The View.
Or The View, gets you on The View, to get you on Kelly and Ryan. You know, all of these things, that takes, you know, reach, you know, get you in Variety, get you on the cover of the Hollywood Reporter.
Absolutely.
That's part of the strategy. What is the story that you're going to tell? Before I knew it, people knew my story, and I was just fascinated that I'm just being myself. I'm just telling them what I had gone through, and people were interested. They wanted to know. When it came that night, so many things started happening. One, I wanted to have a certain look for the Emmys. Nothing was coming in. You know, the style, the designs, it just wasn't there. And I hire a great stylist, because my daughter and I decide we need somebody with deep reach. So we want to get those designers.
Yes.
Well, we get this person, and there's a couple of designers I want, but they don't particularly want that. So they go in a direction that they want. They present it to me. I'm a bit underwhelmed.
Yeah.
But I'm figuring they must know.
Yeah.
Let me go with it.
Yeah.
And I look at it, and I'm on set. I'm looking at it. My coworker, nosy, is looking over my shoulder, and she says, "Oh, that's what I'm wearing to the Emmys."
Oh.
She says, that's what I'm wearing to the Emmys. I said,
"You mean we're twinning?"
I said, "Wait a minute. What designer?" She said, "That one right there." I said, "Lisa, this was just sent to me for the Emmys."
Right.
We're both speechless now. Now she's on fire because she's hot, and she's angry because we're both going to be in the same pink, the same shade of pink, with the same rose thing here. Only thing different, my bottom was different. The bottom of my gown,
it's the same.
but
it was photographed the same.
like you just said, what are we, twinning here?
Yeah.
I fired the guy that was working with me. She ended up firing the person that was working with her.
And you both started from ground zero.
Start from ground zero. But this is a week before the Emmys. So 5 days, 5 business working days before the Emmys. I don't have a gown. So my daughter and I are freaking out now. She was like, if it was going to be this, I could have done that. I could have done better than that, which is the absolute truth. So my daughter says to me, what about the guy that you worked with for New York Magazine?
The Cut.
The Cut. And that was when I was in that hot pink flowing Valentino. And that young man was Roberto Johnson. And Roberto is Afro-Hispanic, you know, from black and from Honduras.
Oh, nice.
He is friends with Blackwood.
Brandon Blackwood.
Brandon Blackwood, who's known
For
the
handbags.
bags.
For those gorgeous mini bags.
And just happens to be
Jamaican.
Brandon Blackwood is in Japan, having had a very successful meeting around his bags and the development of his line. He's getting into ready to wear. Well, he picks up fabric in Japan, starts putting the dress together in Japan, flies to LA, has his seamstress put the pieces together. 2 dresses now. They put the pieces together, have a fitting with me. I wanted orange, color of the season. Everybody's wearing orange. If it's not orange, they're wearing green.
And pink.
And hot
pink.
So I said, I want orange. I don't want to wear black. Black is too basic. I don't want to wear black. I get there, we have this fitting, I put on the orange dress. It's nice, but no, but it's now 4 days before the Emmys, so I'm going to go with the flow. And he says, Miss Ralph, you just try this dress on. It's black. And I say, oh.
You're blocking that energy.
Okay.
Blocking that energy.
He pulls it out and it drops and it's lined orange silk.
Oh my God.
The orange silk is on the inside. And he pulls out this one of his little bags and it's studded out in orange crystals. And then the shoes, and I really wanted the Ahmad Amina shoes, but trying to get my size, no, couldn't do it. So I had on a simple black patent pump. We fit it. I get Coco on the phone and she says, that's it, mommy. That is it. All right. 3 days before, she's now meeting with hair and makeup. The makeup artist has been on the road with Nicki Minaj and somebody else. And so is she going to be back in town? She ends up getting back in town. She's going to be doing the makeup, Mila. Then when it comes to hair, Morea does the hair on our show. But I don't want, yes, she does the hair on our show, but I want something different.
Yes, because
it's
a new look and it's the Emmys.
Right. So
you want to be recognized, but you want to be spectacular.
I want to be spectacular, and that's the word I said. I said, this is going to be my moment, because if I'm not winning, I want everybody to know that I was here.
That's right.
So we're at the Hotel Figueroa. For whatever reason, the hotel has no mirror. No mirror. And I'm like, why aren't there no mirrors? No mirror. So I'm sitting there. My face is being done. This is the day of the Emmys now. Face is being done. Hair is being done. I want a ponytail. It's going to be a ponytail. I know that. My daughter and Maria have it in their minds that it's going to be crystallized. I'm thinking it's going to be 1 or 2 or 3
Little
or 4,
things.
you know, just a little bit. And I'm sitting there nervous now because
There's no mirror.
there's no mirror and the clock is ticking down. So I get on the phone and I say to my daughter, get in here because I need you to tell me about what I look like. Now when I look back on it, I think how stupid, Sheryl. You had a phone in your hand. You could have lifted up your phone and looked at yourself. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but you're nervous.
Nervous.
Big deal.
She comes in and she's like, and I'm thinking, oh my God, what? Then she says, you're amazing.
Oh.
By the time I get up and go into the bathroom, I've got all of these crystals in my hair throughout the ponytail, and I'm like, what have they done? What have they done? I've got crystals here,
Yes.
here. I'm like, my God, I'm gonna look like a clown. But then I said, no, let us lean into this.
That's right.
When we hit that red carpet, everybody was like,
whoa, yeah.
And the word I kept hearing from people was iconic, iconic, iconic. You know, and they were talking about the hair. They were talking about the dress, the black gown that was anything but basic.
Right.
You know, and they said, you know, the slit all the way up to there. You know, and everything about it became a magical moment. And sometimes I think, okay, well, I don't like a specific color. Like I don't like ruffles, right? I don't like ruffles. But sometimes somebody might do something for you with ruffles on it.
And it works. Exactly.
It works. So there were so many things that happened that I said, wow, I'm glad I was open to trying because I would have blocked my own blessing.
Exactly. And then along with the iconic look came the iconic speech and the song. So a moment we'll never forget.
And I honestly didn't understand the impact of what I said, because everything that I thought that I might say if I did win, and I did something else that was interesting. I said, well, it's not going to be me, but if it is me, I want to thank all of these people. And I put all of the names of the industry people, the people at ABC, the people at the studio, those people that you would never hear their name. And it was interesting that when I did win, a few of the women were like, you put my name on the screen.
Yeah.
My mother called me because you put my name on the screen. And it was like, I felt, wow, you know, who would have thought? But when I finally reached that stage, and I honestly don't remember getting up. I don't remember walking the steps. I remember getting to center stage, and I could hear my father saying, settle yourself.
Yes.
Settle yourself.
Calm those butterflies.
This is your moment.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
But how did that song come out? I mean, was it there? Were you thinking that, okay, if I win, I'm going to sing the song?
No. But I've sung that song for years. I had written a one-woman show, Sometimes I Cry, and I would open with that song. And I've sung it around the world, and it always gets a certain reaction. And in that moment of deliberating, I went for what I absolutely knew. Like they say, it takes 1,000 times before you become absolutely proficient. And I picked the note, I delivered the song because I knew I could, and I got the reaction.
You certainly did. A global reaction.
It blew me away. I was like, whoa. You know, and then when I talked, in that moment I wanted people to know, you know, there's this old piece of poetry, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It hasn't been easy. And I wanted people to know, don't give up. Keep trying. And I literally said to anybody who has ever had a dream, and you didn't think your dream wouldn't, couldn't come true. I want you to know that this is what believing looks like. Because I got to be my own champion. You know, don't you ever give up on you. Ever.
So the 19-year-old Sheryl who got the call, you're living on
In
Waterloo,
Kingston.
in Kingston,
From Mr. Poitier.
from Mr. Poitier, and people looked at you and said, Hollywood, where you going? You're not a star. What would you say to your 19-year-old self today?
I'd have to say to my 19-year-old self, you keep believing. Do not compare yourself to anybody. Take your journey. Do your steps. Walk your own path. I don't care how difficult it may seem. You are on the right road. Keep putting in the work. Keep being bright and honest with yourself and others. And look in that mirror every day and love what you see, because that's what's going to carry you through.
And what would you say to your young 20-something-year-old self having to wait 10 years for that next break?
Be patient. Be patient. One of the greatest things you will ever learn in life is to be patient. Patient with yourself, patient with others, patient with the process. Be patient. Don't stop working. Be patient.
And with the world not yet ready for Marisha, what would you say then?
No matter what anybody thinks about Moesha, it's going to be one of the greatest series ever. Ever. And you just wait. They might not get it all the first time around, but who knows? There could be a second time around. Just remember Netflix.
Yes.
Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And what would you say to Sheryl Lee Ralph now? Weeks after raising that Emmy, weeks after the stopping the world, weeks after the likes of Oprah, and everybody was like, oh my God, that speech, that speech, that speech. Viola Davis had the speech, that speech, that speech. Well, what are you going to do for an encore when you go for the Oscar?
I love you thinking of me like that. Thank you, thank you.
And
yes,
putting it
I
out
want
there.
To be an EGOT.
And putting
yes,
it out
I do.
there.
Yes, I do. I just have to say to Sheryl Lee now, every now and then, see, sweetheart, I love being the one to say, I told you so. I told you. And see, you didn't even believe in you. All of that talking about believing, and you didn't believe in you because you thought it was somebody else. You had taken your own self out of the running. You were ready to just hand it over to somebody else, but it's your time right now. So you just relax, do what you have always done, but now you're able to spread it around a little bit more. Just keep right on doing what you have always done. Yeah, it'll all pay off. And trust me, your best days are ahead of you. It's good now, but it's gonna get better.
Thank you very much, Sheryl.
Thank you.
We wait for this Oscar sit-down party.
Oh my God, you know how much I appreciated that? And when I saw it on TV, they were talking about the watch party in Kingston, Jamaica, I was like, oh my goodness. It was just so, I felt I was so happy. And the fact that you all believed in me.
Of course
enough,
we believed in you.
You were going to sit there and watch. I said, oh my God, if I don't win, they're going to be so disappointed.
No, you were in the room. You were nominated. We were just happy that you were in the room. I mean, it was a big plus that you won. We were all horse the next day, but you were in the room.
Thank you.
And you've always been in the room, truth be told, for us in Jamaica. You continue to be in the room. I don't think many people remember the film festival that you used to have, right? That costume that you used to put on. So what would you, last, we're pushing the creative industry, we're pushing young people. And young people, they don't have the patience. So when you use the word patience, it's something that's alien to most young people. what would you say to a young creative right now? And we've got some behind the camera here. In terms of honing their craft, in terms of getting that big break?
Ooh, I would honestly say, I think differently, right? We have a lot of people coming into Jamaica, shooting commercials, doing fashion shoots,
Yes.
making movies, shooting television series. I've been in other countries and other cities where if you come into their city, their country, and you are more advanced than they are, in order for you to get certain breaks, you must take on young people. You have to take them on in some position to learn. Because that's how you improve sometimes if you do not have the money to fly. That was one of the things I wanted to try and implement when we were doing Jamaican Film and Music Festival. And to this day, I love hearing from an artist who has said, I'm grown now, I'm working at such and such a place, or I'm doing this, or I'm producing that, or you screened my very first film, or I'm in New York or California working at this TV station. Yes. And I'm like, what? Yeah. And they were like, yeah, remember when you did Jamaican? And they're doing their thing now. And I'm like, we have got to build roads for young people to carry on and see their dreams come true. And you can only go but so far here on island. But if they're going to come here, you've got to be able to learn from what they're doing. We've got to invite a certain level of people, and it takes relationships, because they're not going to come just because you ask them. No, you have to have a certain level of relationship to get these professionals to come down and work with young people to create these things. And it's on all different levels. And when I look at music, if Japan or Hawaii wins one more time in the reggae category, I'm like, my God, we must be on top of our own art. As much as people want to talk about Nigerian Nollywood, they have it.
Yes, they do.
They serve their audience.
That's correct.
They may not, they're on Netflix big time.
Big time. Young famous African.
Thank you. So I'm like, I'm not knocking the level that they are. They're doing it.
They're doing it.
And it's 20 years old. We could be doing it. Why shouldn't we be doing it? So I'm like, like I said, with the music, come on now. Who's watching it? Who is our Grammy representative? Who is putting together every year that group of artists that are going to be presented to the Grammys in the reggae category, which now they're trying to tell me, well, you all don't really fit in the category anymore because you do dance hall. And I'm like, wow. We have to be able to fit and push what is ours. That's like people telling me that jerk chicken never started in Jamaica. What are you talking about? What?
Well, don't forget, there's a way of rewriting history.
There you go. So anyway, I believe passionately in the arts here, because I'll never forget Miss Lou, when I was young, teaching me, long time, yeah, me never see you. Come make me hold your hand. Oh, long time, yeah, me never see you. Come make me hold your hand. And me in my little bandana outfit, I'm 5 years old, and it's the first independence. And I'm singing and dancing with my dance teacher. And I thought I was meeting the queen, but it was really only her sister. And I waved, and they were down there by the train tracks in Mandeville. But I felt like, wow. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff means something in my culture.
Absolutely.
And just to tie something in, you talked about, how being in Jamaica impacted my life.
Yes.
Every time there was a culture day in the States, I had my outfit.
That's right.
I had my white blouse. I had my bandana skirt. my mother used to scramble up the eggs to make it look like ackee and salt.
Okay.
Make it look like ackee and saltfish. So I had my costume and I had my
Your ackee and
food,
saltfish.
and I could talk about the food. I could talk about Jamaica. So I had a cultural connection to something that was great. And it made all the difference for me, because in my mind, I was experiencing greatness just being
Absolutely.
here. Just being here.
And we have experienced greatness.
Thank you.
Just having you in our space.
Thank you.
Thank
And
you
I'm
very much.
observing the observer.
That's right.
Yes.
In your Kenya Linton designer.
Isn't it wonderful?
Gown is gorgeous.
The things that we can do
That's
in
right.
Jamaica, I'm telling you, we have such great artists, artisans, musicians, dancers, scientists.
That's right.
You know, somebody once said, my Uncle Simeon said, all of uno, burn up the weed and miss the best part. We have the doctor developing the scientific uses for marijuana right here on island.
Correct.
Such a brilliant, resilient people, you know, and I'm just like, wow, if we can just keep and encourage young people not to look. Please, we have to teach young people the national anthem. I can't take it when people don't know the national anthem of Jamaica. Stand up when you hear it, and if you cannot sing it, move your mouth to the words. It's one of the greatest anthems ever written. It's literally a prayer. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Especially when sometimes you live in a community and you all have become the evil powers. How can you free yourselves from this kind of mental slavery? You know, and I'm just such great, it's like being in a diamond mine, and there they all are, and everybody's like, that's not worth anything. It's like, oh my God, just refocus and celebrate greatness that is Jamaica and Jamaicans, because we have it. We
certainly do.
We have it.
We certainly do. Thank you very much.
Thank you.